What up, fam? Welcome back to another episode of Reading Between the Headlines. I'm Asaf Nisim. Little Broken Picard is here. Let's do the thing. Headline number 1. Pulisic's hard work and patience has paid off. Tomori happy for Chelsea teammate after hat trick at Burnley. Still there. I think I speak for everyone in the United States of America when I say, you're welcome, England. You're welcome, Chelsea. After all the despicable headlines we've been seeing from the impatient, hyperbolic media crazies, we're now seeing just a glimpse of what Christian Pulisic has to offer the Premier League. We're seeing exactly what Klopp alluded to when he said that he will be a proper player. Pretty good with both feet, and I quote, super exciting player. Yeah, he was not kidding. As I say, Pulisic is not only a player with talent, but seems to have the mentality to push himself to become what Jurgen Klopp knows he can become. He's positive, he's confident, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. Where are all these supposed naysayers that believe there is an anti-American bias across the pond? Well, there may be. I've had my share of online bouts with people who think Americans know nothing about the game, but suffice it to say that Frank Lampard isn't part of that contingent of stupidity personified. Frank will give deserving players opportunities to show what they've got to contribute. Starting Pulisic was the right decision here. Odoi, for me, hadn't done enough to keep that spot, and Pulisic had. That may change. Odoi looked sharp coming on. Now it's his turn to prove that that spot is his. You see how that works? Now let's not forget that Chelsea have got a world-class veteran player who's won it all in Pedro. When prompted, Fikayo Tomori exhibited similar sentiments to my own. He said, "Everyone is disappointed when they don't play. We've got a lot of talented players, so you just have to be patient, and when you get your chance, you have just got to take it like he did on Saturday. I am really happy for him. That patience and hard work he showed in training has paid off. You have got to be on top of your game, not only in the games, but in training as well. It is good Christian has come in because everyone has to be on their toes. No one knows their position is safe, and that drives the team on and brings the best out of each individual. Callum was rested on Saturday, and Christian comes in and scores a hat trick. That is going to raise Callum's game, and then Christian is going to want to keep raising his game to stay in the team. We have a young team, an exciting team, and we all try to help each other out as the games go on and in training. We don't feel like we are young players. We are just trying to improve ourselves and to keep our places in the team." He's exactly right. This model is precisely what Chelsea fans want. It's what any fans should want out of their club. Incentive structures are everything. I do think that perhaps this sort of spirit was missing under Maurizio Sarri. If anything, maybe this was the sole deficiency in his stewardship. I miss his genius and commitment to total football. However, in time, hopefully Frank can keep this excitement alive and continue to get the best out of these young players. He's also smart enough to learn from the best and will want to evolve with the game like so many are these days. Headline number 2. Brendan Rodgers' criticism generates perfect response in merciless Leicester City's statement win. This episode would essentially be invalid if we didn't talk about Leicester City's record-breaking 9-0 obliteration of Southampton. As soon as Brendan Rodgers was appointed the new manager at Leicester City, we at Reading Between the Headlines, and by we, I mean me and Little Broken Picard, of course, we at Reading Between the Headlines knew that Leicester City were upping their game. The Foxes likely achieved the greatest feat in sports history, period. Them winning the league in 2015-2016 was absolutely astonishing. The only question that actually remained was, would they ever be able to follow it up with similar ambition? A host of renowned clubs are vying actively to take steps forward towards becoming consistent top-of-the-table competitors. Seems the threshold has yet been met despite massive investment, foreign or otherwise. Leicester's ambition was further jeopardized when they tragically lost owner Vishai Srivadhanaprabha on that fateful day. But Leicester have trudged on forward until this very moment, and things are looking up again. And it doesn't look like an aberration of form either. While there's so much to be said in terms of tactics, organization, squad balance, etc., I think there's only one word that would best characterize this club's success: family. When you establish that sort of cohesion in a club, you can imagine the mountains you can move. Of course, it takes lots of smart people putting all the right pieces in all the right places, and the late owner's son seems to have taken up a bit of that mantle since his father's tragic death. The players, the fans, the ownership, the staff all seem to be rallying behind the tragedy. And they have the wherewithal to back it up. According to Leicestershire Live, quote, "The victory at Southampton represented the first time Rodgers had named an unchanged side in the Premier League this season and is perhaps an indication that he has found his best 11. It is an 11 that best provides balance between attack and defense and left and right, and crucially keeps James Maddison in the middle. This was his first away game in a central role this season. City's title win showed that as few lineup changes as possible is a key feature in a side's success, and it will be interesting to see if Rodgers now sticks with this setup. The victory was also evidence of Rodgers' astute man management skills. After the victory over Burnley the previous weekend, he called on his wingers to do more in the most critical assessment of his squad since arriving at the King Power Stadium. A week later, they delivered. Before we get to headline number 3, I'd like to remind you all to please like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. If not, we are no longer friends. And neither is Broken Picard. Your friend. Still my friend. Great friends. Do a show together. Back to the show. Headline number 3. Southampton plan to appoint a director of football to support Ralph Hasenhüttl. After discussing the ultimate record-breaking high of Leicester City, it would only be natural to touch on the record-breaking low at Southampton. The only thing that's shocking is Leicester's utter domination in this game is Southampton's response to their recent form. The club, that is. The players are predictably as deflated and flaccid as the blob after Ben Stiller's character in Heavyweights judged it superfluous to camp life. So deflated, in fact, that in a move to atone themselves, Southampton's players and coaching staff have agreed to donate a day's wages to charity following the miserable display.
Attention campers, lunch has been cancelled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
In this day and age, one would assume that after this level of humiliation, Hasenhüttl's numbered days could be counted on one hand. And I'm talking like the hand of a steel worker who's lost most of his fingers to multiple workplace incidents. It's not like Southampton have really set themselves apart from the trend in this regard. Certainly Nigel Adkins could testify to this, or Mark Hughes, or Claude Puel. The list goes on. Not only have Southampton come out in solidarity with Hasenhüttl, but they say they believe in his vision and that they want to invest further by appointing a new director of football to support his project. I can't say I disagree with the position. It's a recurring theme on this show, and I stand by that philosophy. You invest in a project, a vision, and you see it through. There are indeed limitations. However, there's no real reason that Hasenhüttl can't be successful with Southampton. And again, this director of football or sporting director, whatever title you give it, is fast becoming necessary to consistently compete in the Premier League. Organizational efficiency is one of the most sought after attributes in the corporate world. They pay millions to corporate consultants, etc., to achieve the top level of efficiency. What makes a football club any different? All of that said, I have to say this post-match with poor Ralphie was probably the closest I've ever seen a manager come to crying after a match. At least when it isn't, a tears of joy situation.
As you probably know, that equals the heaviest ever defeat in the Premier League and also sets a whole number of very unwanted records. Where and how did that go so horribly wrong for you tonight?
It would be easy to say it's because of the red card after 10 minutes, but I think it's not the moment to discuss every goal and every scene and the high of the result. I think the only thing is, what I say is that I take the 100% responsibility for this result today. It was a no performance from my team, and this cannot happen in this way. And I'm only say the best I've seen today in the stadium was, beside the opponent, was the crowd that was staying in the stadium, our crowd that was staying in the stadium, the guys that were staying here, how they act, is more than we deserve today. And I say apologize for this no performance today.
You say you take 100% responsibility. Did the players do their part though?
I think in the moment it's not a moment where we discuss about the players or how they act today. I think for me it was I've never had such an experience in my entire managing career. I have always thought that something cannot happen, but it can, as you have seen today. And more is not to say today, I think.
The red card itself, what's your opinion of that?
Haven't seen it, don't know. The goal is the first goal was started with the pass back. That is not possible in this moment. You cannot play back here in this pressing situation. But I don't know if it was a red card or not. I haven't seen it.
What did you say to the players at half time at 5-0 down?
Yeah, we made two changes and tried to have a second half without conceding a goal, but it helps not really. Also, the two substitutes didn't make us more stabilised.
Even allowing for the fact you were down to 10, was that good enough from Southampton today?
Absolutely. I mean, anyway, how we worked against the ball was not committed enough, and the opponent showed with every attacking situation how strong they are, and we couldn't defend it.
Where do you go from here? What sort of damage does this inflict on you?
You can ask me tomorrow or on Monday how much it deflects our game in total. And at first we must look on the players and how we stand up again.
How difficult will it be for you and for your players to recover from this?
Yeah, not easy, but we have to, and we have to stand up again and show a different face.
Nathan Redmond said to us he felt it was embarrassing, the performance. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree.
Do you feel in a state of shock at the moment?
You know, when I stand out there 90 minutes and see one goal after the other coming, and there was no chance to defend, and every goal we conceded, you must think that there is no team on the pitch, then it's not really nice to stand out there. But if you ask me now if I if I'm shocked, what do you think? What you are after such a game when you see your own team performing like this? You're happy, or what do you think?
We appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah.
Poor Alfie. Why? Why? Any fan of the sport, especially a fan of the Premier League, knows how well established a club like Southampton is. Their academy has given us the likes of Gareth Bale, Theo Walcott, Adam Lallana, and of course, the greatest Premier League scorer ever, Alan Shearer. They will bounce back from this slump. One can only hope that they can turn sad Hasenhüttl into happy Hasenhüttl once again before Christmas. I imagine he'll be writing his letter to Santa, or as the Austrians might say, der Weihnachtsmann! Sehr schnell. Headline number 4. Raging Franck Ribery facing lengthy ban for twice shoving linesman after Fiorentina's defeat by Lazio and being shown red card after the match. Now, I admit that this one doesn't have much at all to do with the Premier League, but I've taken liberties before, and this involved a referee, so I took this one personally. Let me first say this. Don't ever touch a match official. I don't care how heated you are, how upset by a call you are. These are human beings. These are people who, in my experience, work extremely hard, usually work other full-time jobs, and generally have the utmost integrity regarding the laws of the game. First of all, it's near impossible to get every single call right. I don't care how good you are, especially over a stretch of games. I like that they're bringing in VAR to give the referees extra tools, but with extra tools always comes an acclimation period. People, players, managers, etc. need to accept that. I remember when I first started using the beeper flags that buzz the center referee as an AR, that took some getting used to. In the same way that players aren't robots, referees aren't robots either. It's amazing how enraged and self-absorbed players can get when they think the referee has gotten the call wrong. Even if they're right, even if to them it was obvious, the referee may not have seen it, may not have seen it from that angle, may not have seen it the same way from the same angle. The referee can't take a player's advice on a call. How much would that player appreciate it if the referee took an opposing player's advice on a call? Again, even if it was the wrong call, you have to take it in stride, consider it part of the game, and move on. Imagine if the referee yelled and intimidated the players every time they made a mistake on the pitch, every time they didn't strike the ball properly, or missed the penalty kick, or got a foul throw, or kicked a horrible corner, or gave the ball away in a dangerous position, or any of the million other ways players screw the pooch every single game ever. If that was the case, I'd be drinking straight honey after every single match day. My throat would be so hoarse. A little advice to you, Ribery. Nobody likes you as it is. You're an awful human being, probably a pedophile, and the only reason anyone gives a damn about you is because you're an incredible player. And that's going away too. Eventually. Your face is reminiscent of a cross between horrific burn victim and a clown that survived Chernobyl but sustained massive amounts of deforming radiation. You're lucky to have only received a 3-match ban for that idiotic, shameful display, but hopefully they review and extend it to teach your dumb face a lesson. Ribery tweeted an apology in Italian after the game, saying, "I'm really sorry for last night. I apologize to my teammates, the coach, and the fans. I also apologize to Mr. Passeri, because at the end of the match, I was very agitated and sad, and I hope he can understand my mood." Yeah, we all understand your mood, buddy. That part we understand. But being in a mood doesn't justify physical violence and intimidation of a match official, or anyone else for that matter. If you assault someone in the street because of your mood, do you think that the judge will accept your Twitter apology and dismiss the case? Hell no! You're 36 years old, bro! Grow up! Headline number 5. I had to do it. Guendouzi explains rugby tackle on Crystal Palace winger Zaha. The spiral downward continues for the Gunners. But let's not be overly dramatic. They're still in 5th place, 4 points adrift of 4th, but with 5 teams within 3 points of their position. I remind you all that we are only 10 games into the season. Anything can happen in this league, so I'd advise against counting chickens before they hatch, or discounting them for that matter. That hasn't stopped many Arsenal fans on YouTube from, well, expressing themselves. Commenting on Unai's post-match presser seemed a cathartic endeavor for many. Emery the fraud. Going backwards with this guy. Excuses. We blew a 2-0 lead to Crystal Palace at home and almost got turned over by Vittoria in the week, and we just got sparked by Sheffield the game before. Sack him. This is not the manager we want. And of course, the customary, it's settled. We need to hire Kepa as our manager. Others, like Guendouzi, have their own excuses. He said, I had to foul Zaha at the end. Otherwise, he is through on goal on his own. I'm the last defender, but I'm far from our goal as well. I had to do it. Okay, fair enough. He went on. We really wanted to win the game, so we attacked a lot towards the end to get the 3rd goal. We allowed spaces, but it's because we really wanted to win. It's not a mental issue. We didn't manage to hold our advantage. We knew they were a good team with individual quality, and they played well for their goals. Zaha did well to get a penalty. It's down to us to work so we win these kinds of matches after taking the lead. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened on our disallowed goal. It's like last Monday at Sheffield. The ref didn't check with VAR then on Socrates and Saka. This time he checks, and it goes against us. I haven't seen it again yet, but we lose 2 points because of that today, and a point at Sheffield too. Yeah, that's a negative. You started off well there, but when you started to blame VAR for your losses is where you lost me. It is down to you to win games. If you were playing better as a team right now, you would not be blaming VAR for costing you 2 points, or 3 points, or 1 point, or I guess it's 2 or 3. I understand trying to ease the pressure and putting the disappointment on someone or something else, but I've seen it a million times when officiating a match. The losing team that doesn't pull together and encourage each other just sinks deeper and deeper. They begin to lash out at everyone else, teammates, referees, managers, opposing players. Nobody is safe except for, I guess, themselves. But the team that acknowledges their own shortcomings has the best chances of bouncing back. The team that still believes in each other can climb any mountain no matter how bleak the situation. Get over it, recoup, go again. Well, that does it for this week's episode of Reading Between the Headlines. Stick around to watch a few more of my favorite goals from the Prem this week. Another reminder to please like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel, and as per usual, from myself and little tiny broken Picard. He's so tiny, so broken. We hope that you live football and prosper.